This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Medical Gear Outfitters, and Colby Valve.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 359, Camp Chef.
Tonight, Aaron goes flying, Jeremy works late, and Ben starts to look organized.
Welcome to the Off-Road podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron, and my name is Ben, and our guest tonight is Brooks from Camp Chef. And welcome to the show.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Hey, welcome.
The Weekend Review is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to have a casualty on the trail? Check out medicalgearoutfitters.com to get straightened out. Medical Gear Outfitters has everything you need, whether you're going out for the day or traveling on a year-long expedition. Head over there to get off-road specific kits that meet all of your needs. And while you're there, make sure you use Off-Road Podcast for 10% off.
You know, I spoke too early last week when I said, I didn't get hurt because it took me all of like 2 days and I got hurt. There we go. Busted my knuckle open. My son got an Oculus, and he's got that Darth Vader lightsaber game, and I was throwing it. You can throw the lightsaber, and I was trying to hit a guy at pie. Well, our fan was right above my head. And I hit the fan and broke the fan.
Oh, you broke the fan?
I broke the fan. I broke the blade off of it.
But did you get the bad guy?
I did not get the bad guy. I missed.
It was all for naught. What is that Oculus hook up to?
Nothing. It runs independently. It just runs.
Oh, I see. It doesn't connect to a game system like the PlayStation or anything.
Nope, don't need anything. It's a standalone thing, which is pretty cool. You can hook it up. You can connect it and like watch through your phone or your TV if you've got, I think it's Google Chromecast, which I have Roku, so can't do that. And then I can connect it to my computer and watch that way.
Have you done any off-roading with it?
Not yet. It's all Henry's, and he's all about the. He got, what is it? The zombie game. I can't remember what it is. So that's really trippy. Like you really get the adrenaline going with that one because they start you out with nothing.
You might have to accidentally put that in the car before you head to see me this weekend.
Yeah, he would not be happy.
For those of you who don't know, Ben's going to come visit me this weekend and see if we can get my 3D printer up and going. We can do some shooting. Maybe we will work on the Avalon too. So got Tim
3D printer.
Yeah, we got Tim in the comments. He says that he just bought a Camp Chef 4-burner griddle for his backyard, delivering tomorrow.
Awesome.
Nice. What a show off. Well, what else you been up to? Have you been VR cleaning your backyard also, or
not VR? I've actually been out there working hard on it myself. I got the entire backyard is cleaned up except for scrap metal stuff and car parts. So like you're not supposed, that giant dumpster I got, you're not supposed to put car parts in it. So I've got the 4Runner's old front bumper, my first Jeep's bumper. Still,
oh my goodness! Are they like plastic bumpers?
Yeah, they're plastic bumpers. So I'm just gonna
whack them. Yeah, cut them with the Sawzall and throw them in that dumpster.
Oh, well, the dumpster's going away tomorrow. I'll just throw them in my regular garbage can over time.
Okay, well that
slowly
works
one by one.
One by one, yeah. Well, I can actually walk around my backyard now, which is nice, and my shed is completely open. So
good, excellent.
When have the rules ever stopped me? That's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just throw it in there.
There might be that it's full. It's full. I had to go jump.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a big dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. got the
That's
yard.
what homeownership will do to you.
Yeah, well, that and having a storage unit full of all your stuff when you're living somewhere and replacing it all with new stuff. That's bad.
Mhm.
And then I've been working on the garage a little bit. Started getting my tools organized.
Excellent.
And then my ADD kicked in, and I worked on something else, and then I worked on something else, and then organized my tools a
You're
little
gonna
bit.
have to get you a shock collar.
Yes,
Did you see some squirrels?
yes.
Yeah, Ben sees squirrels a lot.
Oh yeah, I it still brings me back to going to the Northwest Overland Rally with Jeremy, and we were planning on to go recording, and then it's like, hey, let's go wheeling with Power Tank. It worked out better for me.
Yeah.
Drove him insane.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, absolutely.
So what's this about you going flying, Aaron?
Yeah, so I mentioned last week that I had Monday and Tuesday off, and I was going to be working on my pole barn, and I had gotten halfway up the walls, not even halfway, a third of the way up the walls, and so on Tuesday I was getting almost all the way up the walls with my wall framing, and I decided to fall 8 feet from a 6-foot ladder. So, yeah, I got banged up pretty good. Had to take the rest of the day off. I'm bruised all up and down the left side of my arm and leg. Didn't I guess I didn't get hurt too bad because I was able to go to work the next day, but like I limped all week long, and I'm still in pain today. Like I've got a lot of bruising, but we're good to go. Didn't hit my head, and the funniest part about the story was it was pretty hot on Tuesday, or at least hot for the Pacific Northwest. So I was working without a shirt on, and apparently I got a sunburn while I was out there too. So a couple days after the fall, the sunburn pain started to kick in and override the pain from the fall. So at least I had that going for me.
You've got the full red, white, and blue going now. The red from the sunburn, the blue
That's
from
right.
the
Yeah.
bruise.
Yeah,
Nice.
more like red, purple, and yellow. I'm not sure whose flag that is. Yeah, Tim, I'm not going to show people a picture of my bruises. Sorry, you're going to have to use your imagination for that one. So, yeah, so I took that fall, but beyond that, over the weekend, this weekend, I had some free time. I fixed the radio in the Toyota Avalon. Still don't know what it was. I think it was just one of the connectors in the back was loose, but everything seemed tight. But it when I pulled it out in my hands, it started working. So wiggled the connectors, made sure they were tight, put it all back together. The radio's working in the car. And then Sunday, coming home from church, pulled into the driveway and opened the truck door, and the truck is hissing like I was parked on a hose or something, like an air hose. And sure enough, tires going flat like right before our eyes. So I quickly fired the truck back up and drove it down to the shop, the existing shop, and my son helped me plug the tire in that. I just used the power tank plug kit like I used on my lawn tractor a couple weeks back, and plugged the tire, and it's good to go. So nice to have some repair skills under my belt that means I didn't have to take the tire off and put a spare on, or take the tire off and drive it to Les Schwab with another vehicle. So,
And your son learned how to plug a tire too, right?
Yep, he helped a little bit. I had him air it back up, so yeah, it was good all the way around. And I guess I got some takeoff lights from the new company I work for. We pulled some LED lights down in a building, and I hung those up in the existing shop. So yeah. Travis says no Kobe valve repair kit. No, I don't have a Kobe valve repair kit. We're waiting for them to come out with this version, and they'll get a couple of sent to us. So got the older one, and then when they get the new one, we'll ask for a couple of reviews. So no, but I still have my power tank one, so I did great. And no Tim. Tom's not showing me how to do it. Yeah. How about you, Brooks? Have you done anything off
Well,
related
let's
or
see.
camp related in the past?
Past couple of weeks, let's see. This weekend, I spent most of the time cleaning my garage and reorganizing. Power washed it. Then the week before that, I was in Hawaii on the island of Molokai. We did some off-roading there. Does that count?
Sounds like it
To the
counts.
mountains?
Yeah, that's definitely sounds like it counts. Yeah,
Yeah,
like a rental,
there were some
rental
old.
Jeep or
So I rented whatever they had there, which was a little Nissan Frontier, little
perfect.
truck. It was only 2-wheel drive, but the people that we met on the island that were there, they had one had a, I want to say it was like an '82 Land Cruiser,
Oh,
and
nice.
then a couple old Tacomas. And so that's what we kind of explored on all the off roads with. So
Was that
Yeah.
work related or
yeah, yep. So
very cool?
yep, pretty cool. Got to see
Yeah.
our gear and some really cool elements and see how it was performing. So yeah, I'd say that. And then I just moved in, built a new house a year ago. So we're
Yeah.
in the process of putting in a new yard this summer. So there's always some chores with that.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah,
did you
right.
hear that, Ben? Did you hear that, Ben? He took a 2-wheel drive Nissan Frontier wheeling with Toyotas and did just fine.
Well, I didn't go. We parked the
Oh no,
rental
no,
in the
don't
bad
say anymore.
spots.
No, don't say anymore. Don't say anymore.
Don't
Don't
get
say
me in
anymore.
trouble with the rental company.
I'm trying to bask in this. I own a Nissan Frontier. Mine's 4-wheel drive and
Perfect.
heavily modified, but I take a lot of flack for owning a Nissan Frontier instead of a Toyota. So
The poor man's Toyota.
it really is. It really is. So yeah,
It's more like a chalupa rather than a taco. Is that what you're saying?
Chalupas taste good though.
I don't know. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
So yeah, that was my last couple of weeks. So yeah, we got some. I guess I got a couple trade shows going up this next couple weekends, and then a couple camping trips towards the end of June. So
Will you be coming to any of the trade shows out here in the Pacific Northwest?
no, nope.
Okay.
But I'm going to Denver to Outdoor Retailer this week. Then I've got another the following week in New York City for a little event at Central Park. And then as soon as I get home from that, I'm loading up the family. Well, let's see. No, I'm going on a kind of a camping, outdoor, somewhat overlanding fishing trip in southern Utah.
Oh,
And
very
then
nice.
a family camping trip as soon as I get home from that up in southern Idaho. So
Cool.
yeah,
That
got a
sounds,
busy June.
sounds like a
Busy
great
June,
June.
and then the first week of July, I'm going to tour into a Sprinter van, like a camper van. We're going to do 5 days in Wyoming and complete the Wyoming Cutthroat Slam for those fly fishing experts. We're going to try and catch each of the 4 subspecies of the native cutthroat in their native drainage. So,
nice.
Is that like a tournament thing, or is it just like a personal goal thing?
No, you can. So yeah, personal goal, but then you can also sign up through the state of Wyoming's wildlife page, and they issue you a certificate. You can just all you have to do is submit a photo to them with that species in the drainage that you caught it in. So in Wyoming, they have the Snake River fine spotted cutthroat that drains into the Columbia River, which goes into the Snake River, Columbia River to the Pacific Ocean. Mm-hmm. And then they have the Yellowstone cutthroat, which is on the other side of the Continental Divide, which goes into eventually the Missouri, and I believe Missouri are in the Gulf of Mexico. Is that right? Or Yep. And then you have the Colorado cutthroat, which goes into the Green River, into the Colorado River, which goes into the Sea of Cortez, I believe. Or I'm trying to think where that one terminates.
I've never looked, but it does. I'm pretty sure it terminates on the west side of the Continental Divide, right?
Yeah. Yep. It does.
I'm going to look it up right now.
No, it's on the east side of the Continental Divide.
Is it?
Nope. No, it might be on the west. I'll have to double check. So that's the Colorado cutthroat. I just know where the fish are and what they call them.
That's all that matters, right?
The last subspecies is the Bonneville cutthroat, which terminates into the Great Salt Lake, goes into the Bear River, and the Bonneville drainage is what they call that. So we'll try and you got to catch that fish in its native waters. And every cutthroat looks the same, but there's some variances that genetically they've kind of proven. So yeah, we'll do that. That'll be a 5-day camping trip, and you put about 600-700 miles on the vehicle. Pretty much all dirt roads.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it does go into the Sea Cortez.
Yeah. So I think it's like
From
the Gulf, the Sea of Cortez, the Pacific Ocean, and then terminates into the Great Salt Lake is the other one.
That's really neat.
That. Yeah. So be a fun camping, overlanding adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So
that sounds like just a good time fishing.
I like to get out and fly fish. We're fortunate. We're in northern Utah. We got a lot of streams and rivers that produce a lot of trout fishing. So
we also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month.
I was so good. I went and checked my mail, and I got my patch today. I was super stoked for that because I was like, "Hey,
this patch?
Damn it, Aaron! No, I got mine once."
You guys are showing off your patches. This is what I'm showing off right now.
Oh
my goodness, we're gonna
ask
about that in a little bit. Oh my goodness,
is that bad?
You're giving me the meat. You're giving me the meat sweats.
Is it rude to eat during the podcast?
Well, we've had
we don't care
during a bowl of pho. So
yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. So Patriot Patch. This is the patch this month. Is we talked about it. We believe it's a Danger Ranger. You can see the sticker and the matching artist proof behind it, but the monster truck with all the fireworks coming out of it. Actually, it's better if we just show the picture, right?
That's pretty cool. I need to
there we
look
go.
them up. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're a great company. So you can get the patch of the month, and then they've also got lots of other patches over there, and they seem to be releasing new stuff all the time. So, and hopefully soon we'll have our patch through them as well.
Yeah, like awesome. This one right here.
Booyah.
Yeah, look,
it's coming.
Looking at that one.
It's coming. Yep.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road products store.
I have to call David. I haven't talked to him in a little bit.
Yeah, ask them about their tire repair kit. See what's going on with that.
Yeah, I'll see what's new. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, our first news article is brought to us by Car and Driver. And Car and Driver, that's not truck related, but they do truck related stuff. So this first article is about the brand new Defender 130. So it's basically a Defender 110 with a little more junk in the trunk. You can see in this picture, it's got a little bit longer overhang, which I don't feel is excessive, especially if you compare that to like a Nissan Frontier or a Nissan or a Toyota Tacoma. I believe that they have more overhang off the back of those trucks than these Defenders do. So
it looks pretty.
I think it's definitely within reason.
It reminds me kind of like what is it? The Ford Expedition, the newer ones, similar to that in the length and the rear.
Yeah, probably. So it is
here.
It's 13.4 inches longer. Overall length is 211 inches. The Chevy Tahoe is 210 inches, and Suburban is 225 inches. So it's basically 1 inch longer than a Chevy Tahoe. So, and I don't know if they count that spare tire off the back in the as part of the length? I would assume that they don't. I would assume they go to the back of the bumper. But you can see the third row seat that they added. So the Defender 110 and the Defender 90 do not have third row seats. So, yeah,
and
it uses the same. It uses the same wheelbase as the Defender 110, 119 inches. So, what were you going to say, Ben?
The Jeep Wagoneer is 214.7.
Is that the back seat?
Okay.
That's pretty roomy.
Yeah, well, it
looks roomy.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I think if you see that where by his knee, you see where it kind of divots in, where the seatbelt is. I think that's about where the other back seat's gonna sit.
The middle bench folds up.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's actually pretty decent for leg room for an adult, especially for a third row.
Yeah, it is. It looks like there's seat belts for
So
8.
Yes, yep, it seats 8. So Bubba asks, how much does it weigh? And oh, never mind. I was going to say quick Google says 4,673 pounds, but that's a 2016. So let me see if I can find the weight for the new one.
They probably don't have a weight posted yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I like this picture here. You can see the overhang of the 110 versus the 130.
So you got the 90, the 110, and the 130.
Yeah,
I really like the 90. It's the first time I've seen one of those ones.
Well, the Defender 90 is like the classic, right?
Yeah, well, I meant of the new generation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So Tim has a Honda Pilot with a third row seat, and he says he's pretty sure he couldn't fit in it. I do wonder, Tim, what you can fit in otherwise. Can you fit in the second row? Tim's a big guy. Let's see here. So you got 2 engine options. They're both 3-liter V6. One has 296 horsepower, 347 foot-pounds of torque. The other one is 395 horsepower and 406 foot-pounds of torque. And both engines use the 48-volt hybrid assistance system. And of course, it comes standard with the air suspension, which raises it up an additional 2.8 inches for some extra ground clearance. So, Ben, I bet you're wondering how much this costs.
Too much for my budget, probably.
Well, it starts at, and I'm actually kind of surprised. It seems like these Defenders aren't that expensive. I mean, they're expensive, but they're not as crazy as I would have thought. It starts at $69,000. The Suburbans start at $55,000. So it's $15,000 more than a Suburban, but
for Land Rover,
that's
that's
crazy.
Not
yeah, we know that it's got good heritage.
The new Wagoneer, isn't that start at like 92,000?
Yeah, something like that.
It's way up there. Yes. Yeah. Although I feel like it's super luxury to begin with, and obviously it goes into $100,000, but maybe it doesn't go much into $100,000, where you can get the Defender to be in the $100,000 market. Also, it just has a lot smaller starting price, probably because it has roll-up windows and plastic on the inside.
Yeah, I did. I tell you I've actually see a Grand Wagoneer in person.
Yeah, I've seen a couple in the Costco parking lots.
Yeah,
they're really plush.
Sweet, so
not super plush.
Not something I'd take off road.
Yeah,
at least if I own it.
Probably not. Yeah, so it's $14,500 more than a Defender 110, and the world wants to know: are they going to make a truck version? So they made truck versions of the Defender 130s back in the day. Are they going to make a pickup truck 4-door with a short bed? I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah. Bubba brings up a good point here. Is the Suburban has a way better resale value than the Defender, because once you buy the Defender, it drops $20,000 leaving the lot, and who knows how many times it's going to need fixed, right? Because Land Rovers,
how many times it's going to leave the lot?
Yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, this next article is from Road and Track, and apparently Ford has decided that it's going to sell its EVs direct and cut out the dealers. It doesn't mean all transactions are going to happen. It's going to be aimed at their EV line. Farley, he's I think he's the CEO of Ford. Referenced earlier in the talk, the model's Target, which has built out a serious online platform. Why they reference Target? I mean, there's so many other better companies that are doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this, but like Walmart, I know better for online shopping than I do Target. But yeah, they're using Target. So and leveraging.
Well, how about Tesla?
Tesla. Well, they did.
How about Tesla? Tesla only sells their vehicles. Only sells their vehicles that way.
Yeah, and they're also planning to intends to massively scale back their advertising for EVs, which is a very large consolidation in all of its advertising. I think it has to do a lot with that whole COVID chip shortage and all that. Just they really don't need to advertise with how empty the lots are, and by having the EVs, like if you want an EV, you want an EV, you're not going to have to go to a dealer. You're just going to order it and call it good. Which, I mean, it makes sense, except when no one's going to want to help you at a dealership when it comes to maintenance and all of that, because you didn't buy it there.
Oh, they'll definitely want to maintain it for you. I mean, that's where they make most of their money anyways. But like, if they've got something on their lot, but they can't sell it to you, why would a salesman come outside to like talk you into helping sell it or something? I'm curious how that all is going to play out. And I've heard both sides of the coin. Obviously the dealers are marking stuff up bananas prices on stuff.
Well,
it's really
was it Ford, one of the companies that came out and said, hey, if you don't sell at a set rate, then you're going to get punished. So
yes, correct. Yep, they sure did. Yeah, people are just
a big slap on the hand to the dealerships. Hey, we're taking away EVs from you.
Yeah.
Now all you'll have is Broncos and Super Duties and Fiestas.
Yeah, unfortunately they don't sell the Fiestas anymore.
Yeah.
Windstar minivans.
There you
minivans.
go. Yeah, Windstar. Yeah. So, I'm curious how this is going to play out. We'll keep following it for quite a while, of course. And like I said, I've heard sides of the coin. I've heard that people are upset that dealers are marking stuff up, and then dealers are also saying, well, if you do that, nobody's going to want to sell your product because, I mean, that's how those salesmen are all paid on commission. So kind of a big deal.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because maybe we'll see the phase out of the car salesman, at least on the new lot, and it'll just be used lots. But even then, companies like, what is it, Carvana, where it's all online stuff, you're really cutting out the middleman to help with that price.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a shortage of jobs, so maybe getting rid of car salesmen is not a bad thing. They can go do something else.
Yeah. They need help at McDonald's, please.
Oh my goodness.
Probably not the best place for used car salesmen, but yeah.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
And tonight we are joined by Brooke Hansen from Camp Chef. Brooks, what is it you do for Camp Chef?
Mostly janitor.
That's not what it says on your card right here. That's not what it says on your card.
Okay, so I work on the marketing team. My job title is public relations coordinator and manager. So I oversee all the media, work with all of our paid advertisers, all of our influencers, and then all of our earned media. Do everything I can to try to promote the product. Spend a lot of time on the road, educating people on Camp Chef gear, and the great part is I get to eat a lot of good food and learn the
yeah.
tips and tricks. And I've spent a lot of time with a lot of cool chefs that I feel very fortunate for. So yeah, I guess that's what my job title is.
I gotta say, I ran into you at not TriggerCon. Oh my goodness, why did I pull that one up? At SHOT Show back in January, and it was at the. I can't remember if I ran into you at the range day on Monday or if I ran into other people and then I met you later in the week on the show floor. But if it was you that I met on Monday, you guys were doing a really good job sitting around a Camp Chef campfire, showing your product off.
Yeah, that was a different range.
Really hard.
Yeah, different range day this year. Usually out at SHOT Show at the range, we've got the stoves fired up and we're cooking stuff. We did sliders and tacos and smash burgers and doing samples. We've done pancakes and French toast and all kinds of things out there. But due to COVID and issues of serving food out there, this year we had to scale back. So yeah,
I would have eaten your sliders and tacos.
I totally would have too.
I wasn't scared.
Anyway, because of that, we set up a few of our new fire pits that we're just launching this year, and just provided somewhere for somebody to sit down and relax after being on their feet and shooting guns and hearing things go bang all day. We kind of gave it a little relief. So yeah, I believe I think I met you out at the range, and then you also came by the booth on the show floor as well.
That could be, yeah.
That's a long
week. We're gonna. Oh man, it was. Yeah. That was my first time going to SHOT Show, and I want to go back. I think I'll rest a year, and then go back a couple more years. So it was a great time. I enjoyed actually how few people there were because of COVID. So maybe I'm spoiled and I won't enjoy myself as much next time. It'll probably be all packed. So, well, real quick before we start talking about Camp Chef, let's get to know you a little bit. So we're going to do our Fast 5 facts. So do you like new or old vehicles?
Ooh, man, that's tough. I love old vehicles. Yeah. I do. Old vehicles are so cool, but new vehicles really got me. You know, I see it like looking at that Defender. Was it the 130? Yeah. Seeing that, I was like, ooh, that's pretty sharp. And and it has I do like seeing like an old
heated seats.
Yes, but seeing an old restored truck or an old restored Jeep, like an old CJ or even old Land Cruisers, that stuff is that there's some charismatic features with that. That's just pretty cool. Even old muscle cars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you like summer or winter camping?
I'm a summer camper. I mean, I don't mind the fall, but I don't need to freeze. If I'm going to camp, I like to go in the summer. I like to play in the snow, and I like to do winter activities. Yes. But if we're sleeping outside in the winter, I'm going summer.
You apparently don't have big enough campfires.
Well, it must not be cold where you are. It's usually we'll get a month straight of below zero weather here. So
yeah, it doesn't get get that cold here.
And 8 feet of snow. Ooh, I like what Bubba said. 72 Chevy short. Oh, that's like my favorite truck.
Nice.
The old
all
C10.
Right. Rocks. Yes. Rock, sand, snow, or mud.
Oh man. If I'm going overlanding, the rocks in Moab have my heart. If I'm getting off-road. I do like a good ride in some snow though. But it can't be too much snow where you're getting stuck. You know, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. Pretty fun to bust through drifts and drive snow.
Aaron gets stuck in 6 inches of snow.
I'm not a fan for sand or snow. Oh, sorry, sand or
mud. What's your favorite vehicle brand?
I'm a General Motors guy. I drive a GMC truck. I love the GMC Chevy line of stuff.
And do you have a favorite tire?
Ooh, so going back to my younger years, I was always a BFG guy. I remember my
There it
second
is.
vehicle in high school was a Jeep, and I had the BFG MTs, the mud trains on that thing. But recently, the Nitto tires have been pretty impressive. So the Toyo Open Countries are what I'm rolling right now. I like those.
I feel like, and I'd have to go back and listen to our podcast, Ben, but I feel like BFG has more than 50% of the votes from people.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, that's a staple of the old school tires, the old all-terrains. I used to call them the peanut tread because it looked just like a peanut. Yeah.
It's most definitely been the number one I've heard has been BFG. Yeah. And they've put a name in the industry that's good to fall behind, and they do a great job of marketing themselves. So
yep, the old mud trains were classic though, man. And boy, did they hum when you got on the highway.
Oh yeah.
Well, tell us about the first vehicle you took off road.
First vehicle I took off road. So I had a 1986 Chevy C10 Blazer, 2-door. And then I didn't go off road much in it. Just on the hills around here. Use it as like a hunting vehicle. That was when I turned 16. And then I had that for about 6 months. Nice. And then I was like, I got to have something a little more off-road capable. And I had a 1990 Jeep YJ. So white with a gray hardtop. Put a 2-inch lift, Rancho lift on it, and then I had 31 1050 BFG mud trains on it. So
there you go.
I used to cruise around all the hills here. Yeah. It was before a Jeep. It still had square headlights. So the CJs had the round headlights. Then the YJ, I think it was the CJ7 went to the square headlights. Can't remember. And then I think in like 92 or 3, they went back to the round headlights.
Yeah, it was 95.
And the roll cage went all the way up and back. Mine had the crossbar, just the half roll cage in the back seat. So pretty fun.
Do you have a most embarrassing?
That was a fun vehicle.
Do you have a most embarrassing moment on the trail?
Oh, I have lots of them. We don't have time for that. I'm not a very good driver.
Sounds like me. Tell us one.
I spent a lot of time on. Let's see. I spent a lot of time on ATVs and UTVs. Down in Moab, Utah, and we have tons and tons of UTV and Jeep trails here in our area, like hundreds of miles of trails between northern Utah and southern Idaho. Most embarrassing moment on the trail. For those of you familiar with Moab, I didn't quite make it up Hell's Gate very easy.
Almost roll?
With what didn't you almost make it up?
It was a Polaris side-by-side, and I had a big audience.
Oh.
I was a little embarrassed. My first time trying to hit an obstacle that hard.
Nice. What about your biggest win on the trail?
Biggest win was probably a local hill here on my Jeep when I was still in high school. What was that, like almost 25, 30 years ago? There's a really challenging hill that we used to always go hang out, and it had the letters to the high school on the hill, like the logo. And so you'd have to get to the top of it, and I had a group of kids in the Jeep, and we made it to the top. There's a pretty good obstacle at the top. At least back then it was, but I felt that was pretty cool.
It's probably got a gate in front of it and a lot of boulders now.
It's almost gone. Yep. Turned into houses.
Do you have a favorite place to go wheeling?
If I'm going wheeling, Moab's pretty cool, but I do like the mountains of northern Utah and southern Idaho. I'd say between those two are some of my favorites.
Any places you want to go that you haven't been to for some off-roading?
Yeah, I want to do the Rubicon. I've had a few opportunities, just never been able to make it work. But I think it'd be really cool to do the Rubicon in Jeeps or side by sides, whatever, any way possible. I'd like to get out and do the Rubicon.
Awesome. Well, let's turn the conversation towards Camp Chef. I looking through your products and stuff, and I was kind of overwhelmed by the number of like the camp stove options. I'm not talking about like the standalone burners and everything, but like all the stoves with the flip up lid and the wind side things. You've got the Everest 2X, the Rainier, Teton 2X, Ranger 2, Ranger 3, and the Mountaineer. I think that's 7 of them. Do you want to highlight a couple of those and give some reasons why someone might choose one over another?
Sure. So the stoves you're talking about are probably going to be more of your lightweight car camping stoves. They're not quite as big as, let's say, our bigger 2-burner stoves, but they are a little smaller and a little lighter, so they'll take up less room. Super popular amongst the overlanding crowd or the side-by-side crowd. I call them suitcase style stoves. I would say that our Rainier 2X is super popular. That one's got a grill and griddle combo. It's a Teflon coated griddle, so you can interchange those over a 13,000 BTU 2-burner. And on the side next to it is an 8,000 BTU single burner. So if you wanted to boil a pot of coffee or put a pot on there, a pan to saute or whatever you're doing cooking, I'd say that's a really good stove if you're cooking for 2 to 4 people. Anything more than that, it's just not quite big enough just because you're going to run out of space. I mean, you could get by. You're just going to have to cook in shifts. And it really depends on the meal. Like if you're doing tacos, you can put a lot of meat on there and probably get by. So that's a super cool stove. Another one that's very similar is our Everest 2X. And the Everest stove is probably one of our most popular. The reason being it's a high pressure stove. It's a 2-burner stove, but each of the burners are 20,000 BTUs. So when you want to talk about boiling water or a low simmer, it can do it all. So you can get a pot of water going in a hurry. Super popular, super robust, very powerful stove, very durable. One you can take out on the trail and let it beat around and bounce around in the back of your vehicle. So that's a cool one. And then our Mountaineer is another one. That one's all aluminum, super good on the river. Also fits that overlanding crowd like super well. It's also high pressure with 20,000 BTU burners, similar burners to the Everest. It's more box style, only weighs about 12 pounds. Super cool stove. So in that category, those are probably my 3 favorites.
What's the difference between the Everest and the Everest 2X? Obviously, they got a different body on them.
They have a different body. So the Everest was our original stove design. The Everest 2X is the updated version. We kept the old one in line because it was such high demand that we could sell for a little cheaper, keep a price point down, and still keep some of the same benefits. There's a few cosmetic upgrades that the 2X went through. So as far as a better control valve, so you can simmer a lot easier, rubber coated, silicone coated knobs, so it's a lot easier to grip, a little better igniter, and then it has a better, more fitting lid.
We were looking around and we saw the Sherpa tabletop. Is that something you can cook on top of without having to worry about melting it or anything like that?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, there you go. So that's an aluminum roll top table. And the cool thing about the Sherpa table is it's got 4 different bags that are organizers. It's basically your camp kitchen chuck box. Everything you need, you can take. One of the bags is insulated, so you can use it as a wash basin, or you could use it as a small cooler, meaning it's got an insulated and a
cool
liner. So depending on what you want to do. So the legs telescope up, so it's really small, but it also acts as a table. There you go. And that aluminum roll top, your heat is all going to rise. You're not going to get hot enough on the bottom of those burners to do anything wrong to the aluminum roll top.
Yeah, I didn't even apparently come across that photo that has
that's the first one I came
on top of it.
That's the
Oh,
first
for crying out
thing I came across of someone cooking with it. I was like, oh, look, there is one with someone cooking on it.
They're awesome for our camp ovens and for those style stoves. They fit perfect for that.
Nice. So, something I came across also is that you've got a really small pellet smoker called the Pursuit 20. And my first thought was, dude, you could totally take that overlanding or car camping or anything with you. And as I scrolled through the picture, sure enough, someone was doing that. And then they've got it plugged into Ben, I'm gonna chop your question here. Sorry, but they've got it plugged into a solar generator in the photo. So any idea like how many amps it draws for the nerdy people out there and things like that?
Yeah, so absolutely. I'm going to pull up the amps here real quick. Absolutely, you can take that thing overlanding and take it's small, but it's still a little big. Fits in an RV just fine. We've got a roller carry bag that it fits in. It draws about 160 watts, and that's only during setup and startup. So basically,
Nice.
the way a pellet grill starts is that the hot rod draws a lot of power, but it's only running for about 5 minutes or 3 minutes to start the fire. Then after that, the fan and auger keep the fire burning. So after that, it draws hardly anything. So if you took like a small solar generator or like a small battery generator, like a 500 watt, you can run about 9 hours on one of those. And it just depends on what temperature and how hot it's in the ambient temperature outside and how hard the pellet grill's working. But yeah, you definitely can. And you'd be surprised how many people take those to the sand dunes, off-road camping. That way they can like throw a pork butt or ribs or a brisket or chicken on the grill, start it, let it go for a ride, come back and have dinner ready. So
nice. That'd be dope.
Or you're just chilling around camp and you're playing cornhole, you're playing washers, hanging around, fishing in the river next to camp. You got smoke rolling and food cooking all day long. So when it comes time to everybody gather around, you're gonna have that awesome meal. So
yeah, I like it's like a temperature controlled thing that you can just walk away from and it's standalone. It's got I assume it doesn't hook up to propane either. It just has the hot rod that burns and gets the fire going.
100% pellet fed. So your heat source is wood and power is what's running. You can see that picture there. It's hooked up to a little solar generator or just a little battery generator.
Yeah, it looks like a little Goal Zero. So yeah, I probably could run it on like my little Jackery 240, I think it is.
The Jackery 240, you could get about 8 hours on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 6 hours on the 240. They don't draw a lot of, like I said, at peak, it's 160 watts. And
and that's without like a solar panel plugged into the Jackery, keeping it going even longer. So
yeah, you put a solar panel in there, it's going to trickle. It's basically going to use the amps that it's charging with, as long as you're in a good sunlight spot.
So let's talk about the Pro 14 and Pro 16 cooktops. Looks like it's a 2-burner and the other is a 3-burner. Are there any other differences?
Yeah, so the Pro 14 stands for 14 inches, and that's the depth of the stove. The Pro 16 stands for 16 inches, and that's the depth of that stove. The Pro 16 comes in a 3-burner, where 2 burners are closer together on the left side, and that's what holds the accessories for like a grill box or a griddle, and then leaves 1 burner open to boil water or saucepan or whatever. You have that extra burner available. The 2-burner and the Pro 14, they're evenly spaced, and we have accessories that fit over both the burners or just one. And when I say accessories, is you buy your stove first, which has a 30,000 BTU burner, which is one of the only kind in the industry like that. It's something that we were founded upon. That's our staple stove. That's what Camp Chef was founded upon, as our Pro Series stoves back in 1990.
Okay.
So, celebrating 32 years this year. So
what all accessories can you put on those Pro 14 and 16 stoves?
So we've got a grill box, which is a cast iron grill grate. The box sits over the top, and then it's like a full barbecue grill. And we've got a pizza oven, and then we have a flat top.
Okay. We had some experience with a pizza oven on our last snow camping trip, didn't
Oh
we,
yeah,
Ben?
Chef Jeremy was at it again.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, and then we've
Yep.
also got any cast iron products will fit on it as well. Like you're talking skillets and Dutch ovens, and we got Dutch oven domes. So you can actually cook on those Pro Series stoves. You can cook Dutch oven food on it with our Dutch oven dome, almost as good as you can with charcoal.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love some
The
good
Dutch oven,
some good Dutch oven cooking.
yeah, the Dutch oven dome fits over the top of the Dutch oven and captures the heat and circulates it from top down. It's built out of the same material like the spacesuits and stuff are built out of.
So, I see you guys have the cooking irons. I've always wanted to use these. I never get a good chance to use them. Do you got a favorite have you used them? Do you got a favorite recipe you like?
Yeah, absolutely. They're awesome over an open fire. So I'm a ham and cheese guy. So like a bacon and ham and cheese in a sandwich, like a grilled cheese, is incredible. Another thing that I really like to do with those is made to go omelets. So if you make like a little omelet mix and you put in some peppers and onions and cheese and some egg, you pour it in one side, put the lid on so it seals it, and then just hold it over the fire. You can make yourself an omelet real easy in that thing.
No,
Oh,
having
wow.
to flip an omelet and ruining it when you flip it and turning it into scrambled eggs.
I mean, you're going to open it up and it's just going to be a delicious scramble anyway, but it's going to be more like a frittata.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds like something you need to add to your repertoire, Ben, because you're always doing the crepes. You could do crepes and frittatas. I could see that with you.
Oh yeah, I haven't done crepes in a while. I should do that
You
soon.
can butter up some bread and do toast in it. Does it great.
Ooh, can't go wrong with.
When I was a kid, we had something similar to that. Actually, we didn't. We were poor, but our cousins had something like that. And when we'd go camping with them, they would take like 2 pieces of white bread and then they'd put like strawberry jam or something between it, and they would toast that in there, and so it'd be like having a hot pie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I read that you guys have a special season finish on your cast iron stuff called the Camp Chef True Seasoned Finish. What's that mean?
So all of our cast iron products, from those over the fire pie irons that we just looked at, to our Dutch ovens and skillets and everything else that we produce in the cast iron realm, even our steel griddles and our cast iron grill grates, they come with the true season finish, meaning when they leave manufacturing, they have a seasoning on them, so you can cook on them right out of the box. So let's say that you're heading out of town and you pull in and buy a Dutch oven still in the box. You can drive to camp and you can be cooking on that Dutch oven that night in camp. It's just
Nice.
a seasoned finish that's done at the factory rather than you having to season your cast iron.
I like it. Save some work.
Makes it really convenient.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you're obviously, the more you cook with cast iron, the better it gets. So the more you use it, the better that seasoning and finish is going to get, as long as you take care of it and clean it and season it when you're done. So
Nice. We got a Facebook user here says, I keep a striker in my overlanding box. Great for a quick day trip or overnight. I'm a big Camp Chef fan. We actually had several people chime in about that.
Graphic.
Yeah, the striker's a great stove.
Yeah.
The cool thing about our striker is we have a dual fuel model where you can burn it on a 1 pound propane tank or isobutane.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't have that. That way you can take like that green 1 pound propane tank, which is a more readily available fuel. You can always have those in your truck or in your overlanding box, like you mentioned. And if you just need to boil some water for a quick meal, ramen, warming up some chicken, I don't know what it is, whatever you're doing, you can use a cheaper fuel that you can get at pretty much any gas station in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talked about the fire pits with a little bit. You mentioned them with Aaron at SHOT Show. Campfires, they're a staple for everyone. So you've got 3 different ones. Like, what type of heat do they put on, or is it more ambiance? Do do they give you a lot of heat when you're sitting around them?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple key things to keep in mind with our outdoor fire rigs. So they're propane, right? So it's considered a controlled flame. So when you're in a fire restriction area, 95 to 98% of the time, you're probably available, or you can probably use a controlled flame fire. So where if you go camping and it's like fire, danger is really high, no campfires, and nobody likes to go camping without a campfire. Check your local listings because it's not true all the time, but a majority of the time, you can burn a controlled flame fire pit. Ambiance is a huge side of it. Is a huge part of it. Like, yeah, that's no question that it's just the fact of sitting around with your buddies, having beers, drinking whiskey, whatever it is, and enjoying a nice, meal around a campfire. The benefit though is it does put out heat. It doesn't put out the same amount of heat as a wood fire. Like I'm not saying, but you can feel the heat. You can sit around it and you can tell that there's heat coming out there. It is a flame. They're 38,000 BTUs. We have our smaller juniper, our redwood, and then our larger ponderosa. We actually just launched those just recently. Brand new redesign of all the fire pits. They look a lot more elegant. There's lids on the bigger ones. Little more intuitive control knob. So with built-in ignition on the two bigger ones, the 18-inch and the 32-inch.
I'm looking at some pictures here, trying to find one to share. It looks like they come with a bag too.
Our older redwoods came with a bag. The newer ones do not. They come with a lid.
Oh, well, lid. That's still that'll keep everything in instead of rattling about. I've had that problem in the past. I've got my propane fire pit because here in Washington, once fire season rolls around, can't have a fire. So propane fire pit comes out for camping, and I have to take my rocks out and throw them in a bucket. Instead of
you don't want lava rock all over the back of the truck.
No, it sucks. Same with the trailer. I've had my rock spill. It sucks.
Nobody wants to lose a beard.
Yeah, he says a built-in ignition would be nice. He almost lost his beard. You need to turn it down, Tim. Turn it down. I was gonna mention that I had tacked that part on the end about if they put out much heat, because I've got I don't even remember who makes the one I have. Mine comes in it looks like a little red cake pan or whatever, cake holder thing. Whoever makes that one that I have, and it just hisses. It doesn't really it hisses and has flame. It definitely doesn't put out really any heat at all. So
yeah. Depends on the BTUs. Ours are 38,000 BTUs, I believe, on that one.
Yeah, that's a chunk of heat. That's lava rocks heat up pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I was looking around your website and noticed that you share recipes that you guys use with your products. How many recipes do you have, and what is your all-time favorite?
That's a good question. I don't know the exact count of recipes. There's a lot. There's hundreds. We have a culinary team or a culinary specialist, kind of an in-house chef that is constantly working on that side of things. He's developing recipes weekly if he's not out cooking at other events or doing different showcases of our product. Like I believe he's out of town this week, working with some of our sales staff on some of our dealers, trying to entertain them and show them what we can do on the product. But anyway, he's constantly developing new recipes. Trying to have me pick a favorite? Ooh, I don't know. There's a couple really good reverse seared ribeye ones on there. There's some salmon wontons on there that I really like. A smoked salmon wonton.
Wow.
And there's some fried mozzarella. That's a really good one. I mean, you look through any of those. I mean, who wouldn't?
I'm looking and just getting hungrier by the minute, and I just had dinner, so I'm fat. So, I mean, there's pizza recipes on here, pulled pork, blackberry mint mimosas.
Ooh, that right there, the carnitas. That's a really good one.
Carnitas, can't go wrong with carnitas.
How about caramel apple cream cheese pie?
Ooh, I don't know if I've had that one. A lot of these I've tried. There's always taste testing going on.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, asking me my favorite, that was tough, but I do like a good ribeye.
Yeah, there's man, this is a good spot to grab recipes for the trail. Just be like, okay, guys, we're going camping. What should we make?
Oh yeah.
So what?
Oh yeah.
I saw you guys have YouTube. What info do you guys share on your YouTube?
There's all kinds of content. We'll do product demonstrations. There's some how-to videos on there. There's some unboxing videos. A lot of different marketing content where it's just some lifestyle videos. Between that and all of our social channels, probably TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, we do a lot of recipe content. Yeah, you can find all kinds of different, everything from how to smoke the perfect turkey to an overland adventure on there. So just a plethora of marketing materials on YouTube. It's not anything specific.
Well, that's good to know you're actively on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of video content with the recipes that you went through. They'll pick, some of our top recipes, or at least ones that feel like are some of our top ones, and shoot a video of them cooking it. So
so for that inexperienced chef, it's a good way to learn.
Yeah. So, do you have any products coming out in the near future that you can tell us about? Any? You heard it here first.
Yeah, we have quite a few products in the next 12 months that we're going to be launching. There's probably one I think I'm probably safe to talk about. It's going to launch here in about a week.
Okay.
We've got some pretty innovative technology going into one of our grills, and we're launching a new grill called the Apex.
Okay.
It's going to have some really cool features where it's going to combine the best of both worlds when it comes to outdoor cooking for your back patio, from a pellet grill and a gas grill combo. So stay tuned to campchef.com in the next week, and you'll get all kinds of information on that. Probably the next week and a half. We ran into a few snafus on our launch date, so we got pushed back a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Bubba's sharing a recipe here with us about corn and apple. Yep. Cinnamon Red Hots in the middle.
You had me at Red Hots.
Yeah. Man, I like Red Hots too.
Yeah. Well, you guys, being guys that do barbecue stuff, how legendary are they at the office?
Oh, they call it. So, you've always heard the joke been like the COVID 15. Everybody started working from home and didn't do anything and put on all the weight. We call it like the Camp Chef 35. The second you start working at Camp Chef, 35 comes super easy.
Oh my goodness!
And that's been the
Is it listed in the
office for years? Yeah, it's in the job description.
In the benefits? Is it in the benefits package that you'll benefit from this job by gaining 35 pounds from really good food?
Exactly. So we've gone and done all kinds of different experiments, and now that we're just getting back into the somewhat normal things, we usually have each department takes a turn cooking for the team. So in the office, in our Utah office, because we also have a distribution center in more central United States, in Arkansas. I guess that's kind of south. Anyway, we take turns where the marketing department or the sales department or R&D and engineering takes turn cooking for everybody about once a month. But other than that, our R&D team, they're running grills 24/7, 365. We've got different hoods where they're testing stuff nonstop, whether it's a burner to see how long it can burn before it fails, see how it withstands to wind, and then they're checking hot spots, and they've got all kinds of different temp probes in different areas. Well, part of that is they've got to cook and see how flare-ups happen and see how different meats and vegetables adhere to the way it's cooking. And then we also have our social media team and our video and photo content team that always need content for photos. So there's not a week that goes by where there's not things being cooked on grills at the office. So
wow.
Yes. So sometimes when we have a big company party, we all pitch in and cook and have fun. I'll say this: come Christmas time, we have a pretty killer prime rib cook-off, or we usually do a bunch of prime ribs, and it's pretty stellar. But yeah, I wouldn't say legendary, but I'd say we do our fair share amount of cooking pretty much every day at the office. So it's not quite like McDonald's, what you were talking about earlier. It's a step above. I mean, like I said, I got home from work and I just put a bunch of chicken legs, and you can see how fast they went. Threw them on the smoker, rubbed them down.
Do you guys ever hold any cooking competitions or anything like that for people and they using your products or anything like that?
We've sponsored a few like local cooking competitions here. We've also been sponsors with different teams at some national tournaments, but we've never really gone full bore in that. There's just so many things that we've got going on that probably trump that. But yeah, we try to support especially the local stuff, and then we've got a lot of different brand ambassadors that we support in their different events and cook-offs. Our chef our chef competes in a lot of different ones, so there's a lot of barbecue trade show stuff where they'll have a cooking competition as part of the trade show. And our culinary specialist, he has won, of the last 4 he's competed in, he's won 3 of them. And the one he didn't win, he took 2nd place, and he probably should have won. He's pretty impressive.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Do you guys have a special seasoning you guys use there?
We've got 4 different seasonings that we sell now on our website that are Camp Chef seasonings. No, I wouldn't say a special one. I think he does a bunch of different stuff, meaning our chef. Mm-hmm. And he's in the process of kind of revamping and recreating those. We're going to probably in the near future launch some new seasonings.
Always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Brooks, I've always heard been great salt and pepper and smoke the hell out of it. That's what everybody else told me.
Yeah. That's the right way right there.
Well, it's been great having you on, Brooks. Can you tell us where people can find out more about Camp Chef, where your social medias are, your website, and the address to your house so they can pick up some more of those chicken legs before they're all gone?
Address of my house is not going to happen. But find us at campchef.com. Search the website, tool around there. Lots of things to shop and look for. Also, if you're looking to maybe buy local or support local, go into maybe one of your local sporting goods retailers, farm and ranch stores. You can generally find Camp Chef products on the store shelves there. So like your Sportsman's Warehouse, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods, any type of farm and ranch store, depending on where you are. I guess Pacific Northwest probably is a Murdoch's up there. Coastal, yep. Coastal's a dealer. So, yeah. So any type like that, you're probably going to find Camp Chef products. And campchef.com is probably one of the easiest places to find out information. And maybe you can try and find it at a local dealer or order right on campchef.com.
Well, awesome, man. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, for sure.
And thanks to everyone who listens to us weekly and those who watch us live and interacting with the comments. I mean, really helps drive the show. And then especially when you got people sharing recipes on there too. And, we really appreciate you guys, and please share us with our friends, and God bless America. And then I have the video at the wrong spot.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Medical Gear Outfitters and Colby Valve to see all their great gear. We're a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a comment or question? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.net or through our social media channels by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe, and courteous. Thanks for listening.
Oh, man, I love a good Dutch oven peach cobbler. Apple. Oh, fat boy.